Who can close it out?
Yeah, Broccoli doing a great job here with just the LeBlanc too, but the admins being strong enough to push through. And these Giant Slayers have been doing work into so many of these boards with such high HP. It's just down to this spread shot though, but this is the fight that Broccoli's been winning. He's been the one who's been taking down Robin, and LeBlanc snipes the Vayne. I think that's just gonna do it. Broccoli's gonna take this first lobby over Robin. It felt like Robin, KPK or Sox was gonna take it, but no, it was Broccoli the whole time, Crowan.
Man, the dark horse Broccoli coming in, showing why admin is so strong.
Jukyu versus Setsuko. Is there any positioning options available? I feel like Oxforce is one counterplay to Viego 3 because it doesn't get the actual execute, and therefore his Heartbreaker does not get the reset. But still, it feels like you're just delaying the inevitable. Maybe Jukyu can figure something out, but I'm not really optimistic about his chances of beating Setsuko here.
I am down to eat my words if I'm wrong about this, but I give him roughly a 0% chance of beating this Viego 3. There's just not enough to deal with it. Not enough DPS on his side, not enough CC on his side. Plus, this is a crazy, scary version. I say this as the Viego is in the process of dying. You're welcome for the caster curse, Jukyu. I am wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's plenty of damage to deal with it, and the Viego just did not get the resets early in the fight to get his pop off.
It was exactly what we talked about. He got stuck on. He casted his first Heartbreaker onto a Alistar, which got the perfect shroud, by the way. He shrouded like everything: the Leona, the Philios, the Viego, and then all of a sudden he lost his front line. And what was Urgot 2 and Zoe and LeBlanc all doing? They were focusing the Viego. So it's possible. Setsuko just has to not throw here and make sure that his Viego is not stuck on the wrong target. And this angle should be much better because it's also within range. A Heartbreaker maybe jumps to the back line, but it all kind of depends. Here we go. The first cast is massive. Can he follow it up and be able to take out some more DPS? Annie's hanging on for a long time. Meanwhile, we do have a Philios also working to the back line. And this is a fight that we kind of expected. No stuck Viego. And that is going to be a dub for Setsuko. We're going to go to stage 7 to settle this.
Stage 7 is always so fun. Essentially one life for both players. I believe Jukyu could take a 1-unit loss and still live. We saw that fight play out. I guess the secret to the fight is I just need to start off by saying that Jukyu has a 0% chance of winning. So the question is, do I want Setsuko to win this lobby, or do I want Jukyu to win this lobby? Because I have the power, Dan.
They have the power. They have the power. So if Viego moves over to Annie, so the big thing about Viego going behind Annie is because Viego casts his Heartbreaker on the clump based off his available range. He can't go, say, like, from one side of the board to the other unless it's the only unit remaining. But because Annie was closer to that clump, it's going to execute. So if I'm Jukyu, maybe you full backline everything instead of, like, letting any unit walk up. But the problem is units like Urgot have 3 range. This is such a difficult puzzle, and I'm glad I don't have to be the one that solves it.
It is really tough because if you full backline, you theoretically create a clump that's bigger. So if Viego winds up on that side, it could wind up jumping onto the backline. That was the difference in the fight, right? Like the Viego immediately got big damage resets off and popped off in the fight. It looks like a reposition from Setsuko so he can get 2 chalices. He's also frontlining this Acel. No reposition though. And it looks like Jukyu, meanwhile, is doing a big sell as well. We don't have the Annie. It looks like we swung for the fences and missed. This Viego with early access. My God, the damage onto that Zoe. Zoe did yeet out of there into the back line, staying safe from the Prankster. Viego not damage on the second one. The Nunu is now down. Viego is now onto this Alistar with the Ox Force, and it looks like it is going to be a win for this Viego 3 and Setsuko in this lobby number 2.
Really well done, Setsuko, able to leverage that early gold collector into a dub. And it's a composition I don't think many people were talking about going into this weekend.
Hi, my name is Aaron. You may otherwise know me as Stellar Minhee or just Minhee. My favorite TFT related memory is all the friends that I've made from this community, then the inevitable late night 4 a.m. ARAMs that I play with everybody.
Hi, I'm Wage Iverson, and my favorite TFT memory is hitting Soraka 3 and Ocean 3 in the Dragonland's Last Chance qualifier.
Hey guys, I'm Soju, and my favorite TFT related memory is probably making it to Worlds last set. I mean, the game is all luck, so I really thought that I would not make it to Worlds a single time, but yeah, I made it. Pog.
Hey, it's Dishop. You probably know me. Rank 1 a lot. I would have to say my favorite TFT memory would be in the final lobby of the TFT Summit where me and Nico, Ray, Dog, Robin, and Kyun sent Solus and Kurum 7th and 8th in order to play one more game.
Hello, my name is Garshampro, and I'd say that my favorite TFT related memory was during set 6 I was grinding ladder snapshots, and my friend messaged me and said, hey, you want to hang out today? But I told him, hey, probably not today, I'm grinding ladder snapshots right now. But he said, oh, don't worry, you can come to my place and play on my TV. So I actually went to his place and played on his TV in front of him, a couple of my other friends, and his roommates. Which was a fun experience having everyone there live cheering me on. But the only reason I had met any of those people prior to this was because of TFT. So I think more so than anything else, this story is representative of my true favorite TFT memory, which is the friends I've made from the game.
My favorite TFT related memory is definitely when I won regionals back in set 4 and secured my ticket to Worlds. After the game, I still couldn't really believe it. Like, it never really hit me, and then once it did, I ended up getting super emotional, and I ended up crying for like, you know, the first time in like, I don't know, like 10 years or something. I never really had anything to cry about, so I would love to hop off the set and just experience that same feeling once again.
What's up, everybody? My name is Matt, aka Lil Top. My favorite TFT related memory besides TFT TwitchCon meetup that I went into detail about before is probably high rolling my ass off in day 3 of Defender Cup. It allowed me to qualify for mid-set finale, which I thought after day 4 of Defender Cup, my competitive season was already ended. So I'm super duper glad that I was able to qualify for such a small margin. And yeah, I think it was just very nice to have the tournament going my way, at least for day 3. And yeah, I can't wait to kill it mid-set finale. So support your boy here, Lil Top to the top. You already know what it is. Take it easy.
Rock solid Malphite is like the zombie trying to chase the protagonist, and Sox is just throwing everything he can to get into the way of the Malphite, right? Every barricade, every stone, every possible thing that can get in the way.
The last second hacker tech, he's gonna hacker Malphite into the backline for this matchup.
No way! Malphite goes to the back line, but Sox has split his back line, and these aren't the important units. It's not the Yuumi, it's not the Urgots. The City Skylines from the Mordekaiser does end up killing a lot of the front line, but Sona and Sentry are still untouched. Sox is buying everything. It's a discount. Get in there. It doesn't matter. We need bodies on the board. Stat. One more toss. One more cast. It is not enough. Pretty sure Malphite's going to wrap this up. A valiant effort indeed by Mismatch Sox. But the Rock has finished cooking, and Kyvix once again is going to take up first place to secure round number 4 here at day 1 of the mid-set finale.
My God, that lobby was fun. We see 3 players into stage 7. Everyone, it felt like, had legitimate chances to win those matchups based on how they positioned, how they constructed their boards. We see the final round hacker tech. We saw Kyvix actually holding those units on his bench for a while, and at first I was like, what is he holding those units for? And then I realized maybe at some point he decides, I have one ace up my sleeve. I can throw this at them one time and they won't be thinking about it. He waits for the final fight on 7-2 and gets the job done, dashes that rock into the back line, and the rest is history.
So if Malala's at 20, Reaver is at 21, Bossus goes at 22. If it inverts, we're going to have a 3-way tie from this lobby based off that point total alone at 28, which would set up a explosive finish, a photo finish at the end. We'll have to find out. We'll keep you tuned in. As we do look at this anvil, looks like Shroud and Chalice are both things I'm looking at immediately. And Malala ends up taking that Shroud, which could be devastating if you hit things like this Sejuani, like this Urgot 2 from Bosso skills. That might be the difference maker in this fight. Let's see what ends up happening here. It goes up against Iniko, gets the money Shroud, but that is also a Nunu 2 on the other side.
God, Nunu 2 can do so much work, especially with these items. He's got healing for the Nunu, he's got damage amplification and extra tankiness, so that is a really, really scary Nunu. The Zhonya's did proc, I believe, onto the Talia in the back line, but she is putting out the damage, and it's really the only source of anything left for Nico, quite frankly, is this Nunu. It's putting in a ton of work, but it's just, I think it's going to be overwhelmed here. Eventually, wow, this Nunu is a genius. It is challenger level. It is staying alive slowly but surely, but that Leona channel all the way!
LeBlanc! Oh my
God!
Man, I don't know if you also saw, but the prankster Nunu on the other side, Misfortune 3 by the way, the prankster Nunu on their side just like zipped and darted around. That was crazy. A little preview of the Bahrain Grand Prix that's happening in a little bit under 16 hours. Crazy action here in TFT. High octane violence, speed.
It is a game of life or death. This is Teamfight Tactics, brought to you by Riot Games and Mort Dog. Meanwhile, Setsuko, with a Misfortune 3, last-second reposition, not going up against one of the Future Sight players, so doesn't have to worry about that Zephyr. He is very likely chillin'. I don't know that Nico has the tools to deal with the Misfortune 3 with these items, Dan.
I don't think so, but Misfortune 3 can grieve. It depends on where her ult goes, but it is good. And yeah, that's right. That is Misfortune 3 crushing the opposition. Setsuko gonna put an end to Iniko's game, put an end to Iniko's tournament, and we'll see who can play Setsuko for top 4 once more. A situation where Setsi has his back to the wall, whips out a 3-star 4 cost off of his Giga Chad recombobulator rip, and nobody was contesting the Misfortune 3 except for Bosso Skills, and he does end up landing it. Is he gonna play the spoiler? Will Setsuko somehow deny not one of these players, but all 3 of them from day number 2?
If anyone could do it, it's Setsuko, man. This kid is not normally. What an absolute monster. A perennial rank 1 player in North America, basically set and forget when he wants to be up there. Converting it into tournament success. He's been dominating tournaments throughout set A. He's picking up right where he left off in this mid-set finale. Can he put the finishing touches on this final lobby with a win, Misfortune 3?
I mean, we'll see. The angle could be really devastating here. It does end up destroying most of the fight. On the right side, Malala versus Replay is an opportunity for Malala to effectively eliminate Replay. The Talia does end up missing, and that's the kind of fight that makes Talia so inconsistent. Bosso Skills survived by 2 HP. Everybody in single digits here at the stage 6 carousel. What's gonna happen? Is there anything on this carousel that can swing the fights?
A Bramble Vest for Malala could pay dividends here, particularly if he goes up against that Misfortune. He can keep a unit alive. Bosso Skills grabs a Hand of Justice. Matchups are going to make a lot of difference here as we get to the final. The nice thing for Bosso Skills is he just played the Misfortune 3, so he doesn't have to worry about playing the Misfortune 3 yet again. We see the matchup. It's going to be Replay going up against Setsuko's Misfortune 3, which means we're going to have Malala versus Bosso Skills. Very likely 2 players are dying in this fight.
I mean, it really comes down to whether or not you can even get to this Misfortune 3. Her bullet time's just going to rip through everything. And Replay has the unfortunate pleasure of going up against Setsuko at his maximum power. Can he get anything done? Meanwhile, Malala has a Shojin, double Shojin onto the Syndra. Keep an eye on that. But Bosso Skills gets the Zephyr, so it's going to be delayed. Malala needs this Weaver's Wall to get in the right angle. Both players shrouded. Talia down the center is not what he needs. Bosso Skills needs to solve for as long as he can before the Vayne 3 can take down the front line. Nunu also trying to get in and close in onto the Vayne, and it is way too much pressure. Bye-bye Bosso Skills. And Malala will be the survivor to take on Setsuko and potentially fight for his life in the tournament.
And this is so big for Malala, coming in with 20 points in this game, in this tournament. We said the threshold needed to be, or was very likely to be 27. He got to 27. If he can get the win somehow against Setsuko, then he is all but guaranteeing his spot tomorrow, but he might have done enough. Bosso Skills, I think, also is going to be at 27 points. I can't remember exactly how many points Replay came in, but this is just such a wild finish. All the players that desperately need points in this game did whatever they could. Now, is there any world in which Malala can stand up to this 3-star MF? He does shroud it.
Okay, that does delay the bullet time, but does he have the DPS? Wow! The Weaver's Wall down the center does end up dealing big damage. Skyline's able to also work onto the front line the other way. I can't even tell. It's just a ghost of Malala's army, and that will do it. Setsuko cleans up again. Another day, another first place. Another potential winners interview with Setsuko.
Oh boy, the Setsuko's winners interview, Suffer Legends. I can't wait for him to tell us how much he high rolled today and how little his play mattered.
Oh my gosh. I mean, hey, I think he has made a lot of great examples for just excellent stuff for us to talk about if we do end up getting Setsuko at the very end. But, I mean, what a phenomenal finish there for 6 games of TFT. I mean, damn, when you look across the board for the lobby, like, I just feel like we just got treated to so much in that 6th game.